It's been a while since I took Japanese, so I have no idea what it actually says that. Okay, I'm going to turn airplane mode on my phone.
All right, anybody in chat who can read Japanese, let us know if that actually says John Madden.
Especially if your name is Albrecht84. Oh, am I ready to start?
If your name is Albrecht, you better be in chat.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
All right.
So in SMRPG, time in this category starts from power on. So I'm just going to start a new file and hit reset. So I guess I'll count us down. This category is, well, that's not how you spell John Madden. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Rolling in.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling deep.
So this is Super Mario RPG. This is the Beat Culex category. This is the first time this category has ever been run in a marathon. As the name of this category would imply, this game is played up until you beat the Final Fantasy fan character hidden boss, whose name is Culex. He's arguably the hardest boss in the game, so because any percent is 3 hours long and we wanted something shorter to run on the anniversary race, I kind of routed this category in 3 hours. That was kind of interesting. So some of these strats may seem kind of suboptimal because, surprise, surprise, they are suboptimal. I'm playing this in kind of like a marathon safe way because, in case you remember that boss fight, he's pretty hard to beat at level 11. But I'm going to show you how it's done as long as I don't die in the boss fight. So first things first, Bowser's Keep. This is pretty similar to the 90% run in that I'm going to try to get punched by the terrapins in my face as little as possible. So I'm going to attempt to do an RNG manip that I haven't done in about a week, so I hope this goes well.
Yeah, worth pointing out that the reason this category exists, aside from wanting something shorter for the anniversary race, is because Pidge routed it.
Also because you don't fight Culex in any percent. Okay, here we go. See if I can do this.
So what she's doing is she's watching the terrapin animations there and looking for a specific frame where she's doing the attack. And if she does it correctly, they will not get any attacks. 0 punches, very nice.
All right, there we go. First trick of the game, and I did it. That's a good sign, I guess. That's 0 punch manip is actually not that hard to do. You have an 8-frame window, a 4-frame window, and an 8-frame window to land it. The 4-frame window is probably the hardest, but it's all right. It's not that bad of a trick to do. I get it like 75% of the time, I guess. It's pretty cool to show off and be like, hey, look, I just manipped that fight. I didn't get punched in the face. Good stuff. But I'm about to get slapped in the face by Bowser here because you can't really manip his attacks. So what I'm going to do is, I feel like we heard this song earlier today during Super Mario Bros. 3. And I feel like we've also had to attack Bowser's technical support that he's standing on in Mario Bros. 1. So this fight here is a nice little throwback to the other Mario Bros. Games, but despite the fact that I'm fighting Bowser 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the run is not over right now, unfortunately. He's gonna toss some stuff up in my face and try to smack me off the chain that I'm standing on, but that's all good because, you know, it wouldn't really be like a Mario RPG game if it was over 5 minutes in, so obviously something else is gonna happen here.
Also, I just want to point out that in honor of you, we have the category as Culex percent on the layout.
No, it should be written percent Culex if it's really in honor of me.
Well, at least there's a percent sign in there somewhere.
The category is actually called Beat Culex RTA, but I guess Culex percent is an acceptable short form. Yeah, fight me about that, Blunt Bunny.
This game is actually...
I'm only going to call it Culex percent because I know it's going to make certain people very upset.
This game is actually called Super Percent Mario Percent RPG Percent.
Yeah, the category is actually called Beat Culex. I don't remember what I submitted the category name as, so maybe that's my fault. I'm not sure.
You can still change it. It's not too late.
It doesn't matter to me.
I believe it's actually Beat Culex on the leaderboards.
I posted some stupid tweet yesterday about how not only should every category have percent in the name, but the percent should go at the front. But I don't actually believe that. Some people apparently thought I was serious. But anyway, this is getting way off topic of the game. So a giant sword just kind of crashed on the castle and sent us all flying in different directions, and that's why there's still a game after we beat Bowser.
And we're not going to see any of that stuff at the very end.
Yeah,
we're
like
not getting there.
That's central to the plot line, but Mario doesn't care. He's got a bone to pick with this fan character boss.
No,
like
we're just gonna leave Smithy and let him take over the Mushroom Kingdom.
He's like, hey, you know what? I don't really care about this whole Star Road business. I'm just really, really tired of Final Fantasy fan fiction. So I'm gonna go beat up this guy.
Yeah. Also, we'll split the difference and call it beat Culex %.
I'm okay with that. It's probably called Culex % because look at how long that name is up there on that layout. Is it actually? Because
Good job. Ian.
okay, maybe I did. I can't remember. Oh yeah. That's a pretty good donation. Thank you for the $4.
I think that's the best donation we got all day.
Quarter head.
Yeah, it's not a marathon run by me if there's not at least one donation of $4.20. So thank you for filling the prophecy.
If anyone wants to up it and do a $420.69 donation, feel free.
I mean, that did happen at LAN ETS. I think it should happen again if you ask me. It's just, you know, it's a tradition of Mario RPG runs, man. Gotta get that $420.69 donation. Not that those numbers mean anything or anything. Trying to be PG here.
They're just really good numbers.
Oh yeah, in case anybody's wondering, I run this game in Japanese because the text is way faster than English and you don't have to sit there for 50 billion years waiting to mash through the text boxes.
Yep, that's about it. Not only is there less characters because there's less characters in Japanese, the scrolling speed of the text in the boxes is also faster than English. I don't know why they bother to change the scrolling speed as well, but it's really irritating when you're playing English, when you're used to speedrunning it.
So I'm gonna
The difference in any % is about 9 minutes of text, so
it's a lot, man.
it's worth learning.
Imagine running the most of the stuff category in English. I've never done that before. I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, most of the stuff, which is basically the sort of the pseudo 100% category for this game, the amount of text is even more. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how much time that saves.
So this is Mushroom Way. Pretty simple platforming here. Just gonna jump past all these dudes and not get in any fights. And I'm not gonna rescue Toad because he didn't bring his bazooka, so that's his own fault. Why can't I get on this flower? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get on this flower without. Normally, you're supposed to
Try.
fight that little Goomba dude, but you can jump on the edge of that flower and jump up there without fighting him. Coming up here is the first boss fight of the game, the Hammer Brothers fight.
Oh, yeah.
So you notice that in the Bowser's Keep area, we were using the jump attack as much as possible. That's because Mario's jump attack has a very specific property where it increases in attack power the more you use it. So this is done very specifically for this Hammer Brothers fight here. So that when we jump on the first one, we get 43, and when we jump on this one, you see there's 45. Because every 2 jumps that you do increases the attack power a little bit.
Yeah, and you'll notice that she's specifically just trying to equalize the damage between both the Hammer Brothers, because once one Hammer Brother is dead, the defense on the other Hammer Brother is going to be increased, and you don't want that to be happening earlier on in the fight. So
Oh my gosh, Big Law, you listen to my commentary.
I've watched
I'm
your
proud.
runs.
I'm proud, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yo, props for that, dude.
There you go.
One thing also in that battle, you may have noticed that I took 0 damage in that fight. That is because with most physical attacks in this game, in fact, all physical attacks in this game with the exception of some skills, there is a 5-frame window that you can press an action command button and that will make you take 0 damage. If you just slightly miss that 5-frame window, you'll take half damage, and if you miss it completely, well, you'll take a lot of damage and you might as well reset at that point.
Yep, that's generally only specifically for physical attacks. Magic attacks don't have that property, so the timed blocking is mostly important in the first half of the run. Later on in the run, it doesn't come into play as much, just because you won't be able to block most of the attacks that you get hit with.
So here I'm just buying some healing items for later on in the run because I don't want to spend any time in shops.
Yep.
Oh, new strat in this category. I skipped this frog coin.
Yeah, this is a fun deviation from any %. So if you've ever watched an any % run of this game, when you talk to that Toad and he walks up to the room, the Chancellor's room here, you jump on top of his head and there's a hidden chest with a frog coin above the door. And that's the only chance you have in the entire game to get that chest. In any %, we need that frog coin because the route for frog coins is very, very specific. But in Culex, in Beat Culex, we do not need that frog coin, so we just get to skip it.
I mean, you can grab it if you're doing the 2 energizers, 1 bracer strat, but like I don't really want to do that this time, so I only need 5 frog coins, and you get 5 frog coins in Minus River. If I was running most of the stuff, I'd have to reset the run at that point because that is a required chest.
Yep. Yep, if you fall off the head there, it's rip, gotta reset.
Yeah, because you can't get that chest at any other point in the game, so rip 100%. But luckily, I'm only playing the game up until 5-star pieces, so I don't really
it's a
need
funny
to
little
get 100%
it's a
anyway.
funny little troll because later on in the game there's an item that you get that will make a dinging noise when you enter a room where there's a hidden chest, like on the screen. And when you go into that hallway, it will be dinging because there's a hidden chest that you didn't get. But you won't be able to find that hidden chest because you can't get up on top of the door. So thanks, Square. Good job.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. All right, new character. Original character, do not steal. This is one of the Square original characters in this game. This is Mallow. He's a little dude who came into town trying to get something for his grandpa, but this purple jerk kind of stole his frog coin from him, and I didn't grab the one from on top of the door, so I can't exactly help him out there. But you know, I'm gonna help him chase this guy down because I don't really stand for that kind of behavior. I'm gonna help him get his frog coin back and run his errand. So you know, we could save like 15 minutes here and give him the frog coin from the castle, but the game is not gonna let you do that. So good luck with sub 15 Croco, dude. I'm gonna talk to him and make his day a little better. Okay, one of Mel's things is that whenever he cries, it rains, and that's kind of important later on in the game, that in a part that I'm not going to get to today. Yeah, so Croco stole this guy's coin, and we gotta go chase him and ban his way, and that boss fight sucks. That boss fight is just... you'll see why. You'll see why. That boss fight is just stupid, and I hate it. But I gotta do it, because otherwise you can't progress in the story. Yo, shoutouts to not practicing max skip. I didn't make a save file for that on this cart.
I'm sure you'll get it just fine.
We'll see. We'll see.
On the plus side, you don't have to fight Mac in this category.
Yeah, on the plus side, that fight is even worse than Croco. So yeah.
All right, so now we got to chase down Croco. Mallow's gonna yell at us, and we're gonna go into Bandit's Way to chase him down. So. There's some more basic platforming here, very similar to Mushroom Way. We just want to avoid all of the enemies. Mallow's going to freak out because Croco's there and has his coin. This area has some new enemies that you have to avoid, these little spiny dudes. They kind of charge at you a little bit. Sometimes they're, yeah, like that.
Where did that come
Sometimes
from?
their movements are very unpredictable like that, and they end up kind of running into you when you don't expect it.
Oh, I just got linebackered, dude.
You did.
Should have named my foul John Madden, dude.
Yeah, so now we got to hop across these flowers, and these flowers are kind of funny. They have a very particular kind of mechanic to them. If you want to land facing a certain direction, you kind of want to land on the opposite side of the flower, and it will sort of bump you over and make you face the opposite direction. So there, like, we wanted to jump to the right, so she landed on the very left of the flower.
Yeah, and I grabbed that hidden chest there. That's a Kiro Cola. That heals your entire party's HP as well as your flower points, which in this game is what they call magic points.
Yep, it's very useful, and we're going to sell it for money.
Yeah, that's even more useful.
Yeah, it turns out money is more useful than healing in this run. All right, so here we've got our first invincibility star of the run. Nice dog jump.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nice two-frame trick, I believe.
I'm gonna go for 15. Ah! Oh, I got it. Oh, nice. 15.
Nice.
I'm gonna attempt a strat later where I can possibly get level 8 Mario on Johnny. I'm probably not gonna get it, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Yeah, may as well go for it. Yeah, so the invincibility stars that you saw, like, makes you invincible like other Mario games, which lets you bump off all those enemies instead of fighting them. The way the stars work is that they give you experience, a set number of experience for each enemy that you bump off, and that experience is determined by the star itself, so it's fixed for that particular star box. So that one is 1 XP per enemy. The trick that you saw her do, where she jumped off of the dog and hit that flower chest way up in the air, that's a trick called dog jump. What you're supposed to do is take that rotating platform slowly over to get that chest, but there's a little sort of a glitch where when you jump on top of the dog with the star, if you jump right as you hit the dog, then you will bounce up off of the dog straight up into the air. And if you do that at the right time, when the chest is sort of oscillating toward the bottom of its position, then you can actually hit it without using those platforms and save a bunch of time.
So in this fight, this is a Croco fight, he has 2 attacks. He will either dash into you, which you can perfect block, or he'll use a bomb, which you cannot block at all. It's one of the unblockable moves. So you want to get as many dashes as possible, because not only are they faster, but you can block them, so they're better. Oh, wow,
Yep.
and I did not block that one properly, so
So far, he's being nice with the physical attacks. We don't want to see bombs. Good RNG is just all physicals. That's pretty much every boss fight in the early game is good RNG is physicals.
What is going on with my blocks
Yeah,
today?
this
Oh,
fight's
well, no
looking
biggie.
pretty good so far for dashes.
And here he'll heal himself. This is scripted. on.
Yeah, so once he goes below a certain HP, he uses this weird mushroom on himself that heals him. And after he uses the weird mushroom, he actually skips his next turn. So you get to pound on him a little bit more here. And he should only need one more jump to finish him off.
As long as he doesn't... Yeah, he's not going to... Yo, no bomb Croco,
Yeah,
let's go.
Perfect RNG right
I don't
there.
know how I blocked every hammer time and I can't freaking block Croco. What's
Very
going on?
nice. Good Croco fight there.
Yeah, nice, except I took too much damage, but it didn't matter because I didn't die.
Yeah, you got through it. It's all good.
I got through it. It's okay. I knew the strat.
It's okay. This looks like this should be a sub 15 Croco.
Heck yeah, I didn't even make any safety saves. Yo, sub 15 Croco, let's go.
Boom, sub 15 Croco. So finishing the Croco fight under 15 minutes is generally considered pretty good pace.
I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna do the first major glitch of the game.
All right. Wait, glitches? I thought this was a speed run, not a glitch run.
No, I ran my
Is it
glitchless run
glitch
earlier,
less
dude.
or glitch left now?
Fleck, would you care to explain the max
All
skip
right,
while
so
I do
what
it?
we're going to do here is a trick called Mac Skip. So there's what's supposed to be a boss fight coming up with a big sword monster named Mac, and he has the first star piece. So what we're going to do is try to skip this fight. When we go into the throne room here, there's these bouncing Shy Guys here. Now up on the stair landing here where the Shy Guys are bouncing, there's a trigger for the cutscene that starts the Mac fight. What we're going to try to do is run up to the left here and jump on top of the Shy Guy's head, and then use him to jump over the other Shy Guys, over the cutscene trigger, and talk to the Chancellor here. And the reason this works is because the actual trigger to advance the story is talking to the Chancellor. After the Mac fight, you actually get control of Mario again, and you have to go up and talk to the Chancellor. So by doing that now, the game assumes that you've beaten Mac, and it just progresses along with the game, while, you know, Mac and the Shy Guys are standing right there.
Heck yeah. That's one of like the gatekeeper tricks for new runners of this game. Most new runners that I see pick up this game struggle with max skip a lot. Lord knows I did. There's about 1,000,000,001 different ways to mess it up, but once you get a hang of like knowing how to avoid the problem areas with it, then it gets pretty easy to do. But you want to save before you do that trick anyway, just because like if you do get into the Mac fight, in the only category where you fight Mac, Mallow tanks it with his armor. He has no armor in this run, and you also don't have enough healing items, and you're probably gonna die. And if you die to Mac, then haven't saved yet, so GG run. That's why, like, make a save there and just reset if you miss it.
Yep. And not only is, you know, dying to Mac a risk because of Mallow's lack of armor, but it also actually messes with your experience a bit as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does, but it's not that big a deal. If you fight Mac and actually win somehow, you just skip Superstar.
That's yeah, so the funny thing about when you're planning extra encounters and things like that is it gets kind of more precise towards the middle part of the game for a couple of things that'll come up later, but the experience route is actually quite precise in how it's routed. It's we expect to level up at specific points, and that actually is very important for a particular glitch that's going to happen later on.
Oh, why would you do that, dude?
What we wanted to see is hitting Mario there, but that's okay. So this is Panda, right? He's a little chess monster. What we need to do is jump on him 3 times. Nice, perfect block.
Thanks, that would have killed me if I half blocked it.
Yep. So he has 300 HP, and because we've been powering up the jump attack so far by using it repeatedly, it will do exactly 99, 99, and 102, which is exactly 300 HP.
Even though
So
I got dog jump, I'm gonna grab this anyway for Culex.
yeah, just for safety. Not a bad idea. So getting that dog jump trick in Bandit's way there, when she jumped off of the dog's head and hit that flower chest, that normally would mean that you could skip that chest with the flower there and save a bit of time. But for safety, since this is a marathon, we may as well get it. Now this is the second star of the game, and if she does this properly there, we'll get that last rat on the top ledge there. That's called Swag Rat. Because the timing to get that rat is a little on the tight side. You have to be pretty precise with your movement in order to get him before the star runs out. And it was called Swag Rat, but now it's kind of the necessary rat since it's part of the route.
In this category, I actually don't think it's all that necessary.
Well, maybe not in this
but-
category. In any percent
but
it
I
is.
still want to get anyway. It feels good to get.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so this is Belome. He's a big kind of dog cat thing. I don't even know what he is.
I don't know what's going on with
He's
this
got a
dude,
tongue that looks like
honestly.
a fire hose. So Mallow gets to actually be useful in this fight for a change. So he's going to be zapping Belome with his lightning power, and Mario's just going to keep jumping on him like before. Mario's jump attack is going to be like the main source of damage for the early game here. So Mallow's going to alternate between Thunderbolting and using a Honey Syrup to restore the flower points so we can keep doing attacks.
Yo, nice RNG.
Nice RNG. We got double physical so far. So we want to see Balome do physical attacks. It is possible for him to put one of the two characters to sleep, and that's bad. We don't want that.
Yeah. Here he's going to turn me into a Scarecrow, but that's scripted. Like, a lot of this fight is actually scripted. The second turn is the one where it's kind of random what he does, but
Right.
most of the other turns are like...
Yeah, that's
you
right.
can
Yeah,
play
the second turn we got a physical attack, so that's good RNG there. Yeah, Mario turning into a Scarecrow is scripted. Balome is now going to eat Mallow. This is also scripted. The Scarecrow status is a funny thing in this game. What it means is that the only thing you can do is defend or use special attacks.
And since Mario is only like using special attacks in the early game anyway, I'm not really that concerned about him turning into a Scarecrow.
Yeah, we're okay with Scarecrow. Really all it does is waste some time since it's a pretty lengthy animation, all things considered.
Yep. But I got like all physicals, and like on the turns where he can alternate what he does, I got all physicals. Like that's actually, I think, the fastest possible Balome fight.
Yep, that was a terrific Balome fight there.
Nice. That'll give me
This
a
is
little
gonna
bit
be
more
sub
time to
21
waste on
Balome.
Culex.
So we're going to get another level up here. Mallow's going to hit level 4 here.
Yo, 2030, that's all right.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, no, that is good. We got
Well-
sub 21 Balome, or 2030 Balome.
Yeah, actually, that is good because it's not really distinguishable from any percent until after Wiggler jumps are over.
Nope. All right, so now we have what's kind of like, I guess, the first real mini game of the run, which is the Midas River course here. So after we beat Balome, the sewers get flooded and we get flushed out into Midas River here. So there's two sections to this mini game here. The first section is going down this waterfall, and what we're going to do here is be trying to grab these frog coins along with a few other coins here when we're going down the waterfall. What we want to do is there's 4 frog coins we want to grab here that we need for the route, and we also want to attempt to grab exactly 60 regular coins during the entire mini game. Because what will happen at the end of the minigame is there's a toad at the end of the course that will give us frog coin if we get a certain number of regular coins, so 60. We want to get at least 60 to get the frog coin. We want to get exactly 60 because if you get exactly 60, then there is actually one less text box when you're talking to the toad. If you get more than 60, then there will be an extra text box where he says that he will hold on to the extra coins that you got in case you want to try the course again.
And since I'm super picky and apparently don't believe in playing safe in marathons, I'm going to go for exactly 60.
Yep, so it sounds like, you know, that's the reason that she's skipping some of these coins here is in order to get exactly 60. There's a specific route that you take going down the waterfall and grabbing all those coins. You get 13 coins on the first section here, and the rest of the coins you get in this barrel jumping section here. But it's actually really easy to remember the pattern. You grab the first coin and you bump to switch to the bottom row here. Then you just stay on the bottom row. And then the pattern is just, if there's 4 coins, you grab the first 3 and you skip the 4th one, unless there's a fish and you jump over the fish, like these. And if there's only 2 coins, then you just grab them both. So it's pretty easy to remember, all things considered.
That should have been 60, but in my most
It
stuff
should be.
PB, I think I got 59.
Yep, you got 60.
All right, I got 60. That's all the frog coins I need for this category.
All right.
I used to do like a second tadpole pond menu, but I took that out.
All right, so now we got the frog coin from that mini game. We got a new attack item for Mario. We got a weapon for Mario that we're not actually going to use, really. And now we get to go to Tadpole Pond. So now we have another big cutscene fiesta here where we got to mash through a lot of text. And there's a whole bunch of backstory for what's going on, and also some plot twists along the way.
What's up? Thank you. Thank you for the 280. That's not a meme number. What's going on?
Well, I think you should look at the total right now.
Oh my gosh. Please.
Got him.
Got him. Okay, I've been had, dude. I've been had.
You've been had.
I think we
I was so had I didn't even get tadpole jumps.
I think we could do with $5.49 more, just to be honest.
Yeah.
So I wonder what's going on in the plot right now. I can't read Japanese. Well, right now it's being explained to us that giant sword crashed at the castle, and his name was Exor, and he's being controlled by some dude named Smithy who's come to militarize Mario's world. But because Mario doesn't care about any of this, he's kind of zoning out. But it's also revealed that Mallow thinks this is kind of serious business, so he's like, "Hey Mario, looks like you got some real tough times ahead. Good luck, brother." And that's when his grandpa reveals to him, "Oh no, you don't. You're too old to be living at home with your grandpa. You got to go out with on Mario with this adventure, dude." He's like, "What? But I'm just a tadpole, dude." And he says, "Well, no, you're actually not a tadpole." Mic drop. He's not a tadpole, dude. This guy's not a tadpole. He's from Nimbus Land, which we're not going to see in this run. His real family is from Nimbus Land, but because his homeland was in peril, he was sent down the waterfall to be adopted by Frog Fuchsius, which he was.
Yep,
But,
and when we're done with this run, his homeland will still be in peril.
Yeah, if you want to save Mal's homeland, go run any percent or most of the stuff. Don't run this category.
I mean, the other thing you could do if you want to save Nimbus Land is run low level.
Yeah, about that.
I don't recommend that.
Yeah, I've got third place in that category. I don't recommend it either.
In all seriousness, please don't run low level. Nobody go do that.
Okay. Well, actually do, so that I can feel better about being third place.
Yeah. It's an awful category that should never have been invented.
I think low level is funny as heck, and I rather enjoy when people run it, but I don't think I ever want to run it more than the one time I did. That's the category where you have to gamble away your EXP after every boss fight, and if you don't lose your EXP, then you have to reset until you lose it.
Yeah, it's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. Like, you do it once to say that you did it, and then you're like, I don't need to do that again.
Shouts to I Ate Your Pie, who's got world record in that category at just under 9 hours, I believe. I think the times on leaderboards range from 9 hours to 18 hours, and it's all like experienced Mario RPG runners who have times, I believe. So like 18 hours is not a fact of like playing the game and not knowing what's going on. It's playing the game and the RNG just being so god awful that you just get an 18-hour run instead of a 9-hour run. But this category is only 1 hour, so we don't have to worry about that. No, it's 2 hours. Yeah, that's right. I know what my own estimate is.
All right, now we get to see Bowser and his army going off to take their castle back. Bowser's complaining that he's been kicked out of his castle and he needs to retake it, so they're going to go off and do that. While they're doing that, we're going to head into Rosetown here and do the next part of the story. So before we go advance the story, there's a few hidden treasure chests that we need to pick up here.
Oh, I don't pick up the hidden ones. They got frog coins in them.
Yep. Flowers and frog coins. We're going to buy a couple important items here, namely wake-up pins. And we're going to go raid this guy's house for his treasure chest.
I'm only, there's actually 5 chests that you normally get in this town, but because the other 2 chests have frog coins in them, I don't bother. I just save the time and only grab the flowers. In this category, you don't actually get the EXP booster in Seaside Town, so I don't need frog coins anymore after the 5 that I got from Midas River that I spent in Tadpole Pond. Frog coins are a special form of currency that you can use to buy items that you can't buy with regular coins, such as Sleepy Bombs, Energizers, Bracers, Crystalline, Power Blast, and all of the special items that you get from the Frog in Seaside Town. One of those Seaside Town items is the EXP booster, which any percent uses and heavily relies on, but in this category you actually don't need that because you can save time not getting it because you don't have to grind wiggler jumps. So it's pretty cool not to have to get it, so you don't have to like go out of your way to grab frog coins. Booster's tower platforming actually looks like pretty different because of that, which I think is really cool. And also Rosetown's like a little bit quicker because you don't have to go on the top floor of the dude's house. You don't have to like get the second chest in the shop. It only saves like 5 seconds or whatever, but you know, it's something.
Yep. So fun fact, this little kid that we've been playing dolls with here is Gaz, and Gaz is kind of funny because he immediately recognizes who Mario is, but in order to save time, we lie to him and tell him that we're not actually Mario. So shout-outs to SMRPG for lying to small children to save time.
Kill the dreams, save the frames.
That's right. So now while Mario's sleeping after being knocked out by Gaz's doll punch here, we get to introduce to the next character in the game's part of this run here. Gino. This is everyone's favorite character from SMRPG, I feel like. When's Gino in Smash Brothers?
Well, he's got a Mii fighter costume.
Hold up, I'll tweet at Reggie about that, okay?
Yeah.
Hashtag free the Miis.
Oh, yeah.
This is also like the longest part of the game that you can go with no input. So this is when like most people take bathroom breaks. I'm not one of them because my apartment has my stream set up as far away as possible from the bathroom. So yeah, rip me.
Yeah, funny thing about SMRPG in general, even though, you know, being a JRPG and it's a decently long run, you know, this was 2 hours. Any percent is 3 hours or more, depending on your skill level. But that's one of the only parts of the run where you have an uninterrupted break where you don't need to be mashing through text with the A button. So there's plenty of lengthy cutscenes. It's just you don't get to put the controller down because you need to mash through the text. So that cutscene actually plays out without any input from the player. You've got about like 75 seconds or so to pee, so use it wisely.
I actually saved there because like even though I don't do wiggler jumps, Forest Maze just kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah, maybe a safety save is a good idea. But so now we're gonna go next part here, next trick of the run here. This is the Forest Maze, and this is wiggler jumping. So
no, it's not. See you, wiggler.
Oh, God.
psych. Got him. Yeah,
That's,
so normally in any percent, we'd be hanging out in the first screen there with Mr. Wiggler and jumping on his head. But since we don't need frog coins, the way Wiggler jumping works, just, you know, for people who aren't familiar with the any percent run, when you bounce on top of these Wiggler enemies, you will get a coin. And if you can bounce on them 10 times without touching the ground, then you'll get a frog coin. So in the normal any percent run, we actually use that to get a bunch of frog coins that are essential to the route, as well as regular coins as well, since the other 9 jumps actually still give you 1 coin apiece that we use for buying stuff later on. So the frog coin route is very exact, and the coin route itself, like the regular coins for buying stuff, is also like fairly precise. When we go shopping later on in the run to buy a bunch of important items, everything works out basically just so, with very little leeway. So now we get to play the Forest Maze. We follow Gino through the Forest Maze here. This part is you just have to follow where Gino goes here. And the enemy patterns that you see in here with the different mushroom
nice.
and bee combinations, these are all completely random. So you could walk in a room and there's nothing like you saw, or there's 1 enemy, or it's just full. There's like 5 mushrooms and 6 bees, you know?
Yeah, like pretty much all my most of the stuff runs is 5 mushrooms and 6 bees in every room. It's pretty godlike, dude.
Alright, so now it's time for the best boss fight, in my opinion. This is Bowyer, and he is delightful. Bowyer is amazing. He has crazy googly eyes. He's a living bow, and in the English localization of the game, I think he makes the sound that a cat makes in Japanese.
Yep.
And he also speaks in the same sort of way that Yoda does, where he puts words in the wrong order.
He's also kind of incompetent because, like, he's just sitting there shooting arrows into Rose Town to paralyze all its inhabitants, and there's no real reason for him to do that. He's just kind of being a jerk.
Yeah, he's not incompetent. He just doesn't care about finding the star pieces.
Yeah, I say he's incompetent because that's all he wants to do. And like his minion comes up and gives him the star piece, which is what like he was actually sent here for. And he tells him to stop bothering him and let him like keep shooting the dudes in Rose Town.
Yeah, he's just being like the largest inconvenience there could be, and like, please.
Yeah, pretty much. He just doesn't want to do his job. So this cutscene of Mario and Mallow are going to go help Gino as he confronts Bowyer here. This is the big, long tech-smashing cutscene here, which is really good, you know, not to die in the Bowyer fight, because then you have to redo this cutscene, which sucks.
Yeah, and there's like there's a certain % chance that you can die on this fight through no fault of your own. But I think I have like a backup for it. Like I think I know how to mitigate that risk a little bit in a marathon, which I'll do if I get bolted. I think with Mellow.
Yeah, we might have to do that. It's a very low chance. If he does certain specific attacks on certain characters, then it's possible for the fight to basically sort of be unwinnable. But it's a very, very low chance of that happening.
Also, I just want to say this song is my jam. I love this song.
Yep. So the Bowyer fight is actually really cool because it has a very unique mechanic where the beginning of the fight, there's nothing much going on here the first turn. And then Bowyer complains that it's 3 of you against 1 of him, and that's not fair. So in order to even the odds, what he's going to do is drop these 3 buttons down in the middle of the stage here. And you see the 3 buttons are Y, X, and A. So what he's going to do is shoot an arrow at one of the buttons, and whichever one he shoots an arrow at, it locks that button, and you cannot use the function of that button. So first he locks A, which is the attack button. So now we cannot do regular attacks. We can only do special attacks or use items.
Okay.
Oh, nice miss.
Nice. That means this fight is safe.
So yes, very good. So now we're okay. We know we're going to be okay no matter what happens now. So this fight is actually routed very precisely. You have to do specific things each round because which button that Bowyer locks is not random. It's actually controlled by an internal algorithm that we can manipulate. So we manipulate the actions of our characters in order to control what buttons he locks. So the first one he is going to lock is A. The next one, when we do special attacks with Gino and recover items with Mario or Mallow, he's going to lock X. So if you do the fight properly, he will continue to lock X for the rest of the fight. And that will allow us to have Gino use his Gino Beam attack here, which is the strongest source of damage that we have. And funny thing, in the first round, you saw that we attacked with Mallow, and it did like 2 damage. That 2 damage with a timed hit is actually really important to the fight, because at the end of the fight, it's going to work out that we have exactly enough damage to kill him.
Doing fast strats here.
All right, so we get to do a little bit faster strats because Mario managed to survive till the final rounds of the fight here. So basically, that gives us a little bit of leeway with like if Mallow's attack didn't hit or something went wrong. Instead of doing Gino Beam, we can attack with Gino and jump with Mario instead.
Which is slightly faster and does more damage actually, but the more damage is not necessary unless you mistime something earlier in the fight.
Yeah,
so it didn't
it's
make
an
a
extra
difference.
little leeway.
All right, good
But
fight.
it's nice because it saves a bit of time, and it gives you some leeway if you mess up or if something goes wrong earlier in the fight, or you mistime something. That helps, but you only get to do it if Mario lives to the end there, which is, not up to you.
Also, I don't think we actually explained the concept of timed hit. So if you've never seen a speedrun of Mario RPG before or played the game, the timed hit is when, like I was explaining earlier with blocks, if you block in the perfect 5-frame window versus most attacks, then you take 0 damage. You can't do that with spells, and you can't do it with some enemies' skills, which are not spells but also not physicals. With your own attacks, you can actually do that, but a timed hit can be anywhere from a 3 to a 32-frame window depending on the attack. Mostly with your A attack, it's a 7-frame window. If you hit in that perfect 7-frame window, then you get double attack power than you would if you hadn't pressed a button. So that's why with Gino I was doing 40 and then 60 damage after he got the Energizer, which is an attack boost. If I had mistimed that and slightly missed that 7-frame window, then I would have been doing 30 and 45 damage because it does 1.5 times your standard attack power. That's extremely important for the rest of the run because some fights are routed with a certain turn order where you need to do a certain damage to get past the fight or start the fight on a proper phase or things like that. So my opinion is that timed hits is probably the hardest part of the run to learn it to do consistently. I think it's even harder than super jumps to do all the time. Because super jumps everyone grinds the crap out of. People don't grind timed hits. You can also do it with most of your special attacks.
Do you guys mind if I take the mic for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got 2 more donations. First one from Jake Maxwell-Enson for $5.69. Good Krungus, my bungus. And we also got R2JL for $12.16. Hey, Pitch. Just finished the VOD of your Limit Break run and was an immediate fan. When I heard you were doing this run, I had to catch it live.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys, everyone, for the donations.
Where is it? So here I'm gonna sell the flower box right away, just so I don't have to backtrack later. I sell the flower box because it's 500 coins. And 500 coins is what you need to buy fireworks after Moleville is over. And when Moleville is over, you can get the shiny stone. And the shiny stone is the item that you need to unlock Culex's lair in Monster Town. If you don't get it now, then you have to backtrack for it, so I just sell it now to save some time. You don't do that at any percent. You sell the flower box later to buy some ice bombs. Because you don't need that many ice bombs in this route, I sell it for the shiny stone right away instead. But yeah, shoutouts to everyone donating. Thank you all for the awesome comments. I hope you're enjoying the run so far. I hope you're enjoying the marathon. And let's hit $1,000 as soon as we can.
Probably right now as well.
So here's the Mobile Mines. What's going on here is a star piece crashed into the mountain. You know, the star piece that Mario's just kind of pretending to care about right now. There's also like a couple of kids that are trapped in the mines right now, so I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get the star piece and also rescue the kids. So I'm just going to platform through here, not get any fights, just avoid those enemies. And for some reason, Mario thinks it's a good idea to jump on a trampoline in the middle of a mine shaft. I have absolutely no idea why this is a plot point, but it kind of reintroduces us to a familiar face. Yeah, we gotta fight this guy again, and it is just as annoying as it was the first time, so you'll see why that is very shortly.
It wasn't really that annoying the first time around.
Oh, no, because my RNG was really good. So, like, the RNG's situation is a little bit worse in this version of the fight. And also, what I used to do in this category was buy 2 Energizers and Tadpole Puns, so I'd have one for this fight. But I don't do that anymore, so I gotta do the standard Croco 2 fight, which is, it's just a pain. It's just a pain, and you'll see why when I do that fight. Because he still tosses bombs at you which you can't block, except the bombs kill Mario and Mallow in 1 shot. It's not like before where if Mario get hit by a bomb, you live with 1 HP. It's not like that anymore. And he tosses a lot of bombs, so we'll see how this goes.
All right, so this is Croco number 2 here. So just like the first time around, we want to see physical attacks and not bombs. So the RNG is the way it works is the same as the first round. So that's a bomb.
Oh, thank goodness. It landed on Geno.
Fortunately, it went on Geno, so that's good. We want if he's going to throw a bomb, hitting Geno is the best because he's the strongest character right now. The bombs will actually kill Mario and Mallow in a single hit, like you said.
And Geno taking damage there is not bad because when the second phase of Croco starts, he stops throwing bombs and all of his attacks are blockable. So, like, doesn't matter that Geno just took a crap ton of damage.
Assuming that you know how to block his attacks properly.
Yeah. So here comes phase 2 of the fight. Oh, I didn't get Zombie Mallow glitch because he's alive. Dang it.
Yep. So in the second phase of the fight, Croco steals all your items, and now he'll do either a physical attack or he'll do this attack called Chomp, where he pulls random enemies out of his bag. He's got about 1 of everything in there and starts throwing them at you. And fortunately, the Chomp attack, unlike the bomb, is blockable. The timing for it is a little weird. It's weird to get used to at first, but it is perfect blockable. So in this phase of the fight, you should take 0 damage.
Oh, whoops.
And we're keeping on using the jump attack with Mario here, since that is going to do the most damage to Croco. And we're not going to be using the jump attack for too much longer.
This should do it, actually.
Yeah, this should be the last round.
Oh, no.
Oh, 1 more.
There we go.
Got him.
That might have been over sooner if I hadn't mistimed that Geno attack, but whatever. Lost like 3 seconds. Big deal.
That's all right.
Oh,
Nobody
it didn't get the
died.
box.
Good fight. Only 1 bomb. Not bad.
Flower box doesn't really matter in this route, though. It's not
Nope,
that
no
important.
box. So yeah, so what the flower box that we're talking about is Croco 2 there. He has a 25% chance to drop a flower box when you beat him. And if you get that flower box, then you can sell that for 500 extra coins, which is a bunch of money, and you can use that to buy some extra helpful items later on that'll help you later on in the run and hopefully save a bit of time. So getting a box drop
kidding,
is
dude?
always nice when you're trying to go for a PB.
Yeah, and this category doesn't matter that much. It just makes your Erdovich a little bit faster, but it's not like will save you a billion seconds like Zardragon at 80%.
Yeah. So this star in the mines here,
Yeah, didn't go for 10.
right? So we want to kill all these bomb enemies, and that's fireball enemies named Sparky in this room here. Whether or not he appears is random, and how long he takes to appear, even if he does appear, is also kind of random. So when you come in this room here, the star is on a short timer and about to run out. So he might not appear before at all, or he might take long enough that you can't get to him before your star runs out. So you have to be ready to react in that if that's the case, and run into the next room and kill one of those bomb enemies instead. Because we need to make sure that we hit a certain number of enemies in order for the EXP route to be correct. So this guy right here is Punchinello. Punchinello is a fairly straightforward fight. We're basically just going to be physical attacking him nonstop. In each phase of the fight, he's going to put down these little bomb enemies in front of him here, and they get progressively larger in each of the 3 phases. So his normal attacks is perfect blockable, and these bombs, they'll come running at you and explode on one of the characters. they actually didn't even get to do that because we did enough damage for phase 2 here. So that's a Punchinello physical.
Oh, this RNG is really good.
So far it's going well. You'll probably see some of the bombs here come flying at some characters at some point here. So the bombs attacking you is also perfect blockable. There's one right there. So if you time that properly, you can take no damage from the bomb. So theoretically, no one should take any damage during this fight, unless Punchinello decides to be a jerk. He has a small chance to use an attack called Sandstorm, which is awful and is terrible and sucks, and we don't want that to happen. So, so far, he's actually being pretty nice. He's just using physicals. I think the Sandstorm chance is fairly low, but it's definitely possible.
Not
If he does do it,
it's not.
yeah, I probably shouldn't say that before the fight's over. I'm just jinxing it. Oh, I did it.
Yeah, but since
Yeah.
it's so late in the fight now, I'm not going to bother recovering. Oh, and Mallow didn't even take any damage from it. Nice.
Yeah, so what Sandstorm does is it does some damage to the characters, and you notice that them shaking like that, Mario and Gino, it missed. We got a miss on Mallow, so that was lucky. But when they're shaking, they have the fear status, and what that means is they take more damage and they deal less damage. So this is bad in general for boss fights because, you know, you're dealing less damage. Now, that happened very late in the fight, so that wasn't bad in that case. We lost a little bit of time, but not much.
Yeah, like if it happens in the middle of the fight, what you want to do is like take a turn to heal your status with everyone, because Punchinello can't use Sandstorm twice. He can attempt to, but it won't do anything. It just wastes like a little bit of time if he tries to. So you recover your fear status and keep attacking, so that wastes one turn. But if it happens like on the second last turn of the fight, like when you're about to finish it the next turn anyway, like either way it's going to take you 2 turns because you're doing half damage. So you just take 2 turns to do attacks at half damage, or you take a turn to Able Juice and then attack. Like either way, you're going to take 2 more turns to kill him.
Yeah, you're not really going to lose any time.
I don't think we can block this bomb.
No, I don't think so.
No,
but,
yeah, unfortunately, this bomb is not blockable.
And I got the star piece. Oh yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, so we took out Punchinello and we found the 3rd star piece. All right.
All right, who's guessing my minecart time today?
All right, so coming up, we have a fun game for everyone in chat to play along with, and I guess the audience too. The next game is the minecart mini game. So everyone can place their bets in chat on what time we think we're going to get here. Times basically range from 1:56 to, I would say, 2:10. I suppose.
I've gotten 2 10s recently.
Realistically, yeah. You probably won't be getting more than that, but a good minecart run is under 2 minutes. So we want to see if Pidge can get a sub 2 minute time here. You can get as low as a 1:56. I don't think you can get 1:55. Maybe that's
you can. I think the
maybe
best
it's
time is
TAS
1:54
only.
or something.
Yeah. Maybe the task gets 1:55.
So I don't know what it is. But
yeah, so the way the minecart minigame works is we get to show off the graphical prowess of the Super Nintendo and see some Mode 7 awesomeness. And there will be mushrooms that you can collect along the course, and you can use those mushrooms as boosts, basically. And then you are going to be taking corners during the Mode 7 sections, and you don't want to be going too fast or you'll fly off the corners. So you can boost with the mushrooms on straightaways, and then you want to brake when you're going around, tight corners. And trying to min-max that basically is what getting a good time in this game is all about. So here, like, we grabbed one of those mushrooms and got a boost there. When the track splits like that, you can hold the direction, which direction you're going to go, like left or right there. These little zigzag sections here and these multiple turns in a row, that's when you want to brake and slow down. Otherwise, yeah, we want to be boosting as much as possible, and we have sort of it routed out so that we boost in the most efficient places. And so far, that's looking like a pretty good first room here.
that was scary.
Nice,
Yo, no
yeah.
crashes. Let's go.
That was a good.
That's a
nice,
really
38.
crappy
All right, you
room.
got a 38 on the first room. That was good.
That's all right. I'll try to speed up a little bit.
What do
here.
you wager the time will be, Flack?
Well, it's hard to say this early, but that was a good start. So the second room here is side-scrolling instead of Mode 7 here. So again, we're jumping in specific places so we can collect these certain mushrooms and also try to get as many coins as we get along the way. We want to make sure we get the coins are less important in this route because we're just stopping at Culex, but in a normal any % route, we would need those coins to be buying some important stuff later on. So now room 3 is another Mode 7 section, so we want to exit room 2 with the 4 mushrooms that you saw there. so that we can boost in very specific spots, just like the first room. And here, definitely want to make sure you take that shortcut. Yeah. And here we see a use of very important strats, the horn mashing, which is crucial to getting a good time in this minigame. The L and R buttons will make the horn go on the minecart.
Let's do co-op minecart. Co-op
Yeah.
minecart. Press the R button.
All right, press the R button. There you go. Yeah, essentially, getting a good time essentially boils down to spamming the horn as much as possible. This is definitely going to be sub 2.
Oh yeah, it's like a 158, I think.
I think it's a 156.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that was the second last one.
Oh,
My
I
bad.
missed the
It was a
jump, dude.
158. Nice.
All right, 158, whatever. That's not terrible.
Hey, 158 is a good time. That
It's
is solid.
all right. Usually I get 157s, but I was breaking a little too much there. But I actually did make a tutorial video about the minecart, like how to get consistent 157, 158s. If you're like interested in running this game, go check it out. It's a long tutorial, but you'll see like why you boost everywhere that you do, like why it makes more sense to boost there instead of there, so on and so forth. Kind of
Yep.
helps you like memorize like the logic behind what goes on there.
All this and more can be found on our wiki, smrpgspeedruns.com.
It's a good website. I think it's all right. Shout out to
pretty good.
Attack24 for starting the wiki.
And shout-outs to Pidge for finishing the wiki.
I don't know if I'd call it finished.
Well, finishing it as much as anyone else. Pidge has put a lot of work into the wiki, and a lot of resources that we have for the game now is, thanks to her really putting a lot of stuff on there.
It's got most of the stuff.
It's got most of the stuff.
Great category.
It's got great categories too, and bad ones. All right, so that was a really good minecart there. You didn't fall off at all. There was no falling off the track, so
Yeah, I
you can
didn't
always
get any
count that as a
crashes.
good one.
That's all right. If you don't get any crashes, you're going to get sub 2 as long as you boost in all the right places.
Yep.
Or
So
as long as you're not
speaking
blinking
of
for like a
boosting,
billion times.
speaking of boosting, so these little sniffet guys are chasing after this beetle here, and before we leave, we need to go and talk to this mole guy here, who's going to give us the
fireworks.
so that we can trade them to this little girl, and she'll give us a shiny stone. Because most kids I know would rather have fireworks than a shiny stone. Makes sense.
I mean, I really like shiny stones, but blowing stuff up is just that much better.
I would
Oh,
say
right,
so.
This is Booster Pass. I thought it was Booster's Tower. I was like,
All right,
it's
so-
time to mash the A button.
Yeah, we're gonna chase after the sniffets that we just saw, looking for that beetle. They're chasing after this beetle because this guy named Booster sent them to go find as many beetles as they can find because he's busy entertaining the princess that fell out of the sky.
The princess that fell out of the sky. I wonder who that could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
The other funny thing is also meeting Bowser in front of here. Fancy meeting you here. So Bowser is admiring the size of Booster's tower and how much cooler it looks compared to his castle, and also the fact that he doesn't have a castle at the moment.
Yeah, but he doesn't want us to know that.
No, he doesn't want us to know that. He's very upset that Mario is eavesdropping on him.
He's got a ton of pride, dude.
Bowser's got some serious tower envy going on.
Yeah. He is, however, happy to find out that Peach has been locked up here in Booster's Tower the entire time.
What
Although,
a
to be
jerk,
fair, it
dude.
should really be him that's kidnapping her.
Oh wait, Peach? I thought it was Daisy. Oh man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so in order to, since Bowser's the only one that's supposed to be, capturing Peach, he's actually going to offer to help you break into Booster's Tower here. And he does this by offering to let Mario join the Koopa Troop. So Mario and company are going to pretend that they're joining the Koopa Troop, and Bowser's going to actually join the party. So now we get to go into Booster's Tower here and do some cool platforming. So this is the first part of the game where the platforming really kicks up a notch here. It's a very vertical area since, it's a tower. So there's a lot more. It's not just running and avoiding enemies. There's a lot more precise jumping, and the platforming is really, really cool here. So, and this is Booster. Hi, Booster. Bye, Booster.
My favorite character in the game.
Yep, he's
And my
got
favorite
a
song in the
great,
game.
a winning smile, and he's got a cool train.
Can't go wrong with a cool train, dude.
I mean, that train is pretty awesome. And if you fight him, he'll throw it at you.
So I skipped that switch there because you don't go to Booster Pass in this category.
Yep. Yeah, so here you can see we're getting with some of the platforming here, avoiding these bombs, the bomb enemies, all the enemies making our way up the tower. Coming up, there is a room called the checkerboard room, which in any percent you have to do some precise jumping through that room to collect some frog coins and avoid tiles that spawn enemies. But
Yeah, that room.
in this category, we just walk right out of the room, basically. It's kind of a bit disappointing, really, because the checkerboard room movement is pretty swag.
It's actually even cooler in most of the stuff because you gotta grab the key too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I had to look at that map that I made like 2 years ago a whole bunch to be like, oh man, how do I not get an attack here?
Yeah, so Booster's finally figured out that, you know, Peach has been looking for Mario this entire time and that Mario is this guy right in front of him. So now he's not so happy that you're invading his tower.
What a guy.
All right, so here we have to get a couple hidden treasure chests here.
No, just one.
Oh, just the goodie bag?
Just the one. The other one's a frog coin. Don't need that.
Oh, that's right. It's a frog coin. Yeah, we're skipping all the frog. I keep forgetting we're skipping all the frog coins. I'm not used to this category.
Yeah, when the frog coin skips is like kind of one of the bigger deviations from any percent. It makes like the platforming in Booster's Tower like remarkably different.
Yeah,
which
it
I
is
think
actually
kinda
quite
cool.
different.
It also like Rosetown Forest Maze change up a little bit. Forest Maze change up a lot because you don't do wiggler jumps, which saves you like a minute.
Yep.
Seaside menu is different, and I had to practice that today because I'm used to most of the stuff Seaside menu, which is totally different. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's some.
All right, so now we get to the next mini game. There's a lot of mini games in this run. Kind of one of the cool things about this game is that there's a lot of variety of stuff going on. It's got a lot of good action in it. It's got a good pacing for a speed run, I think. So in this game, Peach is happy to see Mario, but also Booster and his Sniffets are coming to rehearse his wedding plans for getting married to Peach. So Mario's got to hide behind the curtains. And in order to simulate, accurate reality of his wedding plans, Booster is looking for his Mario doll. So he can't find the Mario doll. So he's making the Sniffets go to look for it. So they're checking behind the curtains. But as you can see, their vision's not that great. So they have a bit of a hard time kind of seeing us.
Yeah, I think it might be the goggles. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think those goggles are helping very much. So basically, there's 3 rounds of this mini game. The first round, 1 guy is looking for you. The second round, 2 guys are looking for you. And the third round, you guessed it, all 3 of them are looking for you. The positions that they look at, this is all entirely scripted. So if you just memorize the patterns of where they look, then you can do stuff like this, where you fiddle around and do funny things like poke your nose out when they can't see you.
If you get caught though, you gotta start the whole minigame over again. So it looks like I'm playing with fire, but that's actually really easy.
Yeah, it is actually quite a time loss. It's like a couple-minute time loss if you get caught here. So you definitely don't want to do that. Here they try to psych you out by making you think they're going to go one end and going to the other end.
In my second sub-3 PB in any percent, I actually did get caught in this minigame halfway through and lost a minute and a half.
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
I PB'd by 40 seconds, so I was like really mad when that run was over.
So now Booster finally figures out, hey, I'm going to look behind all the curtains. But he doesn't care that Mario's hiding behind the curtain because he's finally noticed the doll, but he can't reach it. So we're going to help him out. And since we help him out, he's so grateful to us that he actually gives us a very useful item, the amulet.
This whole part of the game doesn't really make any sense, but it's okay because Booster is the best character ever.
Yeah, that's exactly why it doesn't make any sense. Nothing involving Booster makes any sense. So here we're gonna, the amulet is actually a really important item because it gives us a nice stat boost. And also gives us, didn't it give us elemental? No, not elemental immunity. I'm thinking of something else.
It gives half elemental immunity,
Oh, it gives half immunity, okay.
so it's useful in the cake fight.
It also smells funny.
Yeah, it certainly does.
The item description indicates that it smells funny. It's a
Great.
useful item, but it's kind of funky.
It's called Great Item, Bad Smell.
Yeah. All right, so here, this is the first time we get to use Bowser in this fight. This is the Clown Brothers, Knife Guy and Great Guy. So Bowser uses his Terrorize attack here because they are actually susceptible to fear. They're one of the few boss fights where you can actually fear them. Normally, that's not a thing that you can do. And that's kind of unfortunate because we wanted Mario to not get put to sleep.
Called it, called it, called it, called it.
Yeah, never lucky.
He woke up.
So that's kind of annoying. Fortunately, he attacked Mario, which woke him up. So that's actually good, because we need Mario to be using his Fire Orb attack here on Knife Guy, because Knife Guy is weak to fire. And the fear status makes them just like, when Punchinello used it, they now take more damage from our attacks. So that's actually really important because we want to kill Knife Guy as soon as possible. if you don't kill Knife Guy with those with the fire attack fast enough, then he will actually team up with Great Guy. They'll hop on top of each other, and then they'll start doing really powerful team-up attacks that do a lot of damage, so we don't want that to happen. So the rest of this fight is pretty straightforward. We just keep punching Great Guy in the face, and even Mario's going to get in on that, even though he's been muted. We don't need to do any magic attack.
I think I might have mistimed one of my attacks because normally you don't attack with Mario there, but whatever.
Yep. Hey, sub-hour Booster's Tower.
Yeah, 58's pretty good for this category.
Yeah.
All right,
58.
time to call your shot.
All right, it's time for another mini game. All right, it is time for Call Your Shots. This is the Booster Hill mini game. So the way this works is that Booster's going to be running up the hill with Peach on his back, and we're going to be running after him, and the Sniffets are going to be running after us. So what we're going to try to do is there's going to be a bunch of barrels and stuff falling down the hill, and we're going to try to jump off of those barrels to get closer to Booster. Every time we catch up to Booster, we get a flower that increases our max flower points by 1. So Call Your Shots is to guess how many flowers that Pidge is going to get. We want to get, actually in this category I'm not even sure, in any percent we want to get at least 6, I believe.
This category doesn't matter, you just want a lot.
In this category, I guess it doesn't matter.
Just
but
the more the better, because Culex is a thing.
we just want to get as many as possible. More is better. So far we're doing pretty good here. That's 3.
My guess is 4.
Your guess is 4? All
My
right.
guess is 4.
I think,
Yeah.
I think at the last NoReset I guessed 7, and I think I got it.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, the most flowers that you can get is 16.
This part sucks, dude.
I actually guessed a lot.
And I believe only 2 people have gotten 16, I think.
Oxus and Lack Attack.
Oxwas and Lack Attack. So shout outs to both of them, God
My best is
gamers.
15.
Yeah, so yeah, your personal best is 15. I think most of the top runners there have gotten 15. Only 2 of them have gotten 16. I think Lack's done it twice,
Yeah, I think you're right.
if I'm not mistaken.
Shout outs to
Yeah,
Lack.
it's getting 16 flowers is basically requires you to be pretty much perfect at this game. So the second phase of this, you notice the barrels are still coming, but the Sniffets are starting to run up behind us. So the barrels propel you forward a little bit. Bouncing off of the Sniffets propels you forward a lot. So that lets you get as close as possible to Peach here. So now for phase 3, the barrels stop coming, but as you can see, the Sniffets are weaving back and forth in these zigzag patterns, and the hitboxes on these Sniffets are questionable.
Questionable is a nice way to put it.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
go
BS at times. So far, they seem to be playing pretty nicely, though. Because sometimes it looks like, you jump on them and the game is just like, nah, you got hit, and then you get knocked way back. So it's actually looking like a pretty good Booster Hill so far here.
10 in this category means you have 28 flowers at Culex, which is all right. Obviously, the more the better. If you get 14 here, then you're perfect. But I didn't get 14. I got 12. Oh, 13. Not
13, nice. That's a pretty excellent Booster Hill then. 13
that's
is very
decent.
nice.
Yeah, I wonder if you know what? Maybe I'll pick up an extra flower
Yeah.
on the way.
If you get double digits, you're pretty set.
I want to have
really-
32 flowers for Culex would be ideal. It's not necessary, but it's really nice to have. I think I might be able to do it if I just backtrack and waste 10 seconds getting a flower in Mushroom Kingdom. I might do that after.
Yep, so now we're in Marrymore. So Booster and his Sniffets have taken over the chapel, and they booted out the Toads who are about to have their wedding so that he can get married to Peach instead. So we're going to sneak inside the back here, and in order to help us break in, the Sniffet's going to have us give him a hand here.
This fight that's coming up, it's actually very possible I'm gonna have to reset and redo it because this fight is super unsafe in this category. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna make
don't
a
forget to
safety
save.
here. Yeah. No, I never forget to save in this category. Hey Bowser, please don't get in my way of trying to save. What are you trying to do to my run, dude?
Yeah, so we're going to do a safety save here, yeah, because the boss fight that's coming up here is one of the worst things in this game.
Yeah, in the 80% run, you use a red essence to make Mario invincible for 3 turns on third phase, but you don't have that option in a marathon run in this category because you want to save the red essence for Culex. So I use a bracer instead, which ups his defense by half, which is good, but doesn't really protect him from Sandstorm Diamond Saw or any other kind of terrible combination of magic. Sandstorm Drain Beam actually I think is bad enough.
Yeah, the fight coming up, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Before we get to the boss fight, since we busted into this room, Peach has dropped all of her gear, her wedding gear, her crown and her necklace and her brooch and her ring, I think. So we got to go find those. The Sniffets find some of them, and Booster's going to have the last one. So we have to chase these Sniffets down and get these pieces from them and bring them up to the front. And the faster you do this is another kind of mini game going on here. The faster you do this, the better your result, I suppose, at the end of this game will be, because it tells you if you do it fast enough, something good might happen. And the something good that happens is that Mario's going to get a kiss up here from someone. The question is who he's going to get a kiss from. If you do it fast enough, he gets a kiss from Peach. If you're not fast enough, he gets a kiss from either Bowser or Booster or both.
Fan fiction, the game.
I'm kind of hoping for both.
Yeah, I think if you don't get the sort of the meme in the community is if you don't get Peach Kiss, you got to reset. So.
That's in the paste bin, and I've actually seen people reset over it because they didn't know it was like not required.
Yeah, progressive games. All right, so we got the Peach Kiss, so we don't need to reset. That's good. You just want to do it as fast as possible. If you don't get a Peach Kiss, that means you're doing it slow. So Bowser and Booster get to kiss each other instead. So, all right, now we get to have the actual boss fight. So this is one of the strangest boss fights in RPG history. The chefs have been working all day on this bizarre-looking wedding cake. They're very proud of it, but they're not happy about the fact that we're taking the bride away and canceling the wedding. So they're going to try to take their anger out on us, and during the course of the fight, this monstrosity that looks sort of like a cake is going to start exhibiting some strange behavior.
I mean, like, it's got some frosting. It could be dessert, maybe.
All right, so that's the bracer that we're using on Mario there, so that's going to... Oh. That's going to boost his defense. And the chefs here are just doing their little physical attacks, so we want to make sure that we block those attacks as much as possible because we want to conserve our HP for the next phases of this fight. Since there's 3 phases in total. This is just phase 1. So the cake starts moving. And the one apprentice here starts poking the head chef, trying to tell him that he saw the cake moving. And the head chef is having none of it. In the English translation, this scene is very amusing.
Then again, I don't understand why this boss fight, you say it's so difficult, because it's quite literally a piece of cake.
Oh no, that's bad. Let me defend there.
Yep.
Hey, Elm's not on the couch. Someone's got to fill in, right?
That's true. Fair enough.
Okay, saved.
All right, so yeah, so what we want to do...
I mistimed my Geno attack there, which means that I don't start on Bowser's turn for the second phase, and that's pretty bad. So I just kept defending, and I just finished it with Geno's attack on the next turn.
Yep.
Because all you have to do is like perfect block the chefs, and it's not that hard to do.
Yeah, and you also, well, in this strategy, you don't have to worry about the red essence running out either.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of nice, at least for that backup. So now the cake is actually full-on moving, and the chefs are terrified and running away.
This is easily the scariest part of this boss fight because both halves of the cake have very strong magic that they can use against me, and Mario doesn't really have that much protection here.
Yeah, so the way this phase works is we have to blow these candles out.
That's a great start.
Yeah, this is a great start. Sandstorm, everyone's favorite attack. Yeah, we got derooted. So the way that this phase works is we have to blow out the candles on the top of the cake. Any physical attack will blow out 1 candle. And when the cake takes its turn, it will regenerate 1 candle. So ideally, that's a nice physical attack.
Oh, okay, well, fine. I'm getting through this phase anyway.
Okay, well, we're going to be okay regardless. So this is actually a pretty okay phase overall. We started off bad with Sandstorm.
It would have been nice if I had blocked that physical on Mario, but I wasn't really sure what the frame window was on it.
Yeah. So if everybody survives, then we basically get 2 rounds with the cake here, plus the initial round. So the reason that we want to begin phase 2 with Geno is to specifically manipulate the turn order. When that happens, then we get to finish off the rest of our turn, so Bowser and Mario get to go, so we get to take out 2 candles right off the bat before the cake gets to do anything. So that actually helps the second phase of the fight ideally go one less round than it would have, basically. So this is okay. The cake is going to Sandstorm pretty liberally in round 3, in phase 3 typically, but it's a lot less dangerous now that the top half of it's been eliminated. Yeah, it's just continuing to Sandstorm. That's annoying, but whatever. So we're just going to pick Mario up because Mario actually has the best damage attack in this fight with his jump attack.
Mario and Bowser.
As you might expect, the cake is actually weak to jumps. Cakes don't tend to respond well when someone jumps on them.
Well, that's a relief. That fight's over and I didn't have to reset.
Yep, we got through it okay. So now we got a big cutscene for the end of this fight where the Snippets are like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be beating up Booster's wedding cake. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Booster just, jumps on top of the cake and starts yelling about how you're ruining his wedding and wondering where the heck the cake is. The Snippets are trying to tell him that pretty sure the thing you're standing on is probably a cake. There's a 70% chance.
My favorite part about this entire sequence is that, like, Booster eats his cake, which means the wedding's over, which means he just goes home, but he goes home and doesn't bring Peach with him. In Booster's mind, a wedding equals cake, and but in his mind, you need someone to marry to get this cake. But it doesn't matter if you stay married or not, he just wants a cake.
As long as you get the cake, the party's good.
So he just leaves, and Peach is just like, okay, yeah, I guess that just happened, and she goes back with Mario to the Mushroom Kingdom. This entire arc of the game just doesn't make any sense. And
this whole scene is utterly bizarre. The chef's getting mad at you for calling off the wedding. Okay, kind of understandable. Cake coming to life. Okay, we're in weird territory now. The boss fight ends with the cake being devoured by Booster. Okay, that's about the strangest boss fight in RPG history, just about.
Like that cutscene, that's just the icing on the cake of that fight.
More cake puns.
Boo!
All right, so now we have the most exciting part of the run, and by exciting I mean boring.
Yeah,
because we've got a lot of cutscenes to mash through. So if you have any donations, now's a great time.
If you haven't donated yet, now's also a great time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Sell out, boys.
If you have donated, do it again. No.
And if you already donated, we thank you and keep donating. Nope.
And just a quick reminder that we're actually raising money for the Répit Saint-Louis, which is a house in Longueuil that helps children with autism and their parents by giving them the resources and the help they need. So it's actually a really good cause, and it's quite close to my heart because my son is severely autistic. He's 6 years old, and they've helped us quite a bit with his development, and he's gotten much better since he started going there. So it's my way of giving back to them. And it's never going to be enough. There's no way I can actually repay them in money or anything in equal part to what they did for us. But, donate generously. Honestly, they're great people, and they really deserve your support to continue the operation and expand upon the services they're already offering. So thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, well said. Great cause to donate to it. Keep that money rolling in.
Rolling in.
Rolling in.
Rolling deep.
Shout outs to the Rolling Deep crew if any of y'all are watching.
Ducks.
My boy
All right,
Boyd was here earlier, but he had to go home, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he couldn't stay, yeah. So this part of the game is called ABZ, or that's what I call it anyway. It's called ABC, which is always boring cutscene. That's what that stands for. So this is basically the longest bit of cutscene text in the game where you have to just continually mash through text boxes.
I'm actually on ridiculously good pace right now. I just realized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're making quite good time so far.
This, I believe, is unfortunately PB pace, which means I'm not going to PB in this run.
Well, it depends on how the later stuff goes.
Yeah, it depends on how many times I die.
The most important stuff hasn't happened yet.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, one of the jokes we make running this game is the early game doesn't matter, which is kind of true.
Never,
you can have a terrible early
game
and you can still PB depending on what happens in the second half.
Yeah, the hard stuff is still yet to come.
That's where all the hard stuff is.
The first hour of this run is super easy.
And so this cutscene is we bring Peach back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then they're all happy that she's back. But Mario is explaining, what they've been up to and how they're dealing with this giant sword in Bowser's Keep, which we're not actually going to deal with because we're going to stop at Culex.
Sorry,
but
Bowser.
It's useful to know, what's going on story-wise, and Mario proceeds to pantomime the entire thing. Yeah, Bowser's actually kind of liking the idea of the Star Road being broken because it means that wishes aren't being granted. So if he was to kidnap Peach, then that means they wouldn't be able to get her back. However, the problem is in order for the Star Road to stay broken, he has to lose his keep. So I suppose it's like a Sophie's Choice for Bowser.
Meanwhile, Mario is just daydreaming about sending hate mail to Final Fantasy fanfiction writers and destroying Culex. He's feigning interest in the star pieces in this category.
Those Fire Fantasy OCs really get him riled
Yeah,
up.
man, Fire Fantasy is the worst, especially when it's a 5-minute run. That was...
All right, so now we have the next glitch of the run is going to happen right
oh yeah,
here.
I guess I should do that too, shouldn't
Yeah, you
I?
should.
Okay, I almost didn't do it.
Do it, do it.
Oh
All right.
no, I opened the menu. What the crap?
So let's go over and get. Oh my God, what happened to Peach?
This
Oh
is-
my God, look at her head.
just
Oh
forgot
good,
to
she's
turn
back to
makeup on.
normal.
Oh
Phew.
my
All right.
I mean, I look like that when I wake up. I don't know about you guys.
Just ignore that. Nothing's wrong. Nothing happened.
Little
So
bit of duct tape, it's fine.
we put it back together. Yeah, so that's called exploding Peach glitch. All you have to do to make that happen is as she's floating down to meet you with her parasol, you just open the menu and exit back out.
Since all I do is open accidental menus anyway, that glitch is pretty easy to do.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty easy thing for Pidge to do. She does it all the time.
I can only imagine how many people were horrified playing through this game casually doing that by accident.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people playing casually probably might have accidentally discovered that. Although it's at a very specific time, so you never know. Now, in fact, if you want to see the best menu opening in that regard, Pidge has a highlight where she somehow manages to do the final jump for max skip, open the menu at the same time in midair, and still actually complete the skip.
I think the better clip is when I open a menu, talk to the Chancellor, and jump at the same time. Yeah. I don't. That's like, oh my, that was dumb.
I have to say that area, not everyone likes that area. I would say it's a tad polarizing.
Right. I don't go to Booster Pass here. That's right. Skip Booster Pass.
All right, so this is the next area of the game. This is Star Hill. This is where everybody's wishes go. And the fun bit when you're playing this game casually, we're just gonna rush through here and find the star piece that's fallen on here as quickly as possible. But if you're playing this casually, all these little stars with the happy faces on them are actually people's wishes that you can read. So there's some fun little flavor in reading those because they're all the different characters in the game. And one of them is actually from Luigi, who's not present in the adventure, but he's off doing a very important job that we don't actually get to see in this category.
Yeah, we'd love to read those, but this is a speed run, not a read run, so...
Yeah, all right, fair.
Talk to the flower, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, we got to talk to all of these different flowers here in order to get to the next section. Open the big keyhole door here. This is actually sort of the other spot in the run where you have the opportunity for a bathroom break, sort of. It's shorter than the Geno cutscene in Rosetown, but it's, I guess, the next best thing. And that's right here when you go and find this star piece. So this star piece doesn't have any boss specifically guarding it, although I would argue that the cake is sort of the boss of this star piece.
I would also argue that like the boss of the star piece is the fact that the next 2 star pieces require 2 boss fights where they get stolen away from you.
That's true. That is true, actually. Yeah, the next 2 stars, you beat a boss to get the star, and then it gets taken from you, and you have to fight another boss.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yep, that's a theme. All right, so now that we have the star piece on Star Hill, we've got Seaside Town coming up. And this is where the run
Really picks up.
in terms of stuff going on and techniques. So the first thing that we're going to do is Seaside Menu. And this is where we're going to go to the shop and we're going to buy and sell a bunch of stuff. We're going to sell items that we've been accumulating over the course of the game so far. And we're going to buy some useful items that we're going to be using, offensive items like bombs that we can throw at bosses and such.
First thing I'm going to do is save because I just learned this menu today.
Yeah, fair enough. So this menu is the most complex menu in the game. You have to do the most menuing here. And it's actually a little different in each of the different categories. It's never the same in any of them, really. So the thing about buying and selling stuff in this game is that when you're selling things, you can only hold a maximum of 999 coins in your wallet. If you hit that limit, then you just lose any excess coins. So the game will not stop you from continuing to sell things. You just won't get any money from it. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're doing is buying and selling things in a specific order in order to not go over that limit. So we sell some things and then go in and buy some bombs and items here, and then we go and sell some more things, and so on and so on. And we also remove most of the equipment that we've gotten to this point and sell all that off as well for the last few things that we're going to buy here.
That's good. I can do that.
So assuming we did that properly, we should end up with a couple bad mushrooms and a bunch of bombs.
2 bad
And-
mushrooms, 4 ice bombs, and 7 fire bombs, and 2 fright bombs.
Yep. So yeah, the fright bombs will inflict some damage and put the fear status on an enemy. So those are used in specific boss fights. And then the fire and ice bombs are general AoE bombs. So coming up here, do you want to save it all? No? Okay.
I just did.
Oh, okay. So this is the ability swap glitch. So you notice that she jumped and hit that invincibility star and opened the menu. You're not supposed to be able to do that when you're invincible. The way that this glitch works is when you hit the invincibility star, the character's positions are kind of locked in memory. So when this happens, all the XP that you get when the characters level up, the game gets confused about who is who because we open the menu and swap the positions of Peach and Mallow. This leveling up here to level 7, that's actually Mallow. And Mallow hitting level 10 here, that's actually Peach. Because Peach came in at level 9 and Mallow was level 6, if you recall. So those levels don't match up. So the game is confused about who's leveling up there. And what that means is that the game thinks that Mallow is the one hitting level 10. And when Mallow hits level 10, he learns the Shocker ability. So because it was actually Peach that hit level 10, the game gave the Shocker ability to the person that it thought was Mallow hitting level 10. So Peach now knows Shocker, which she's not supposed to be able to learn, because that's Mallow's ability. So this is really useful because Peach is a higher level when she joins the party, and she has a high base magic attack stat, so she'll be able to actually do more damage with that attack. So in the any percent route, you would actually see that swap glitch used twice. In this category, it's only used that one time, but it is very essential to the run. In here, you have to answer a password for a riddle about the sea, and we just always know exactly what boxes to hit because it doesn't change. The password is fixed. So that's not that interesting. But here we have the King Calamari boss fight. This guy's a giant squid, as you might have guessed from the name. So here's where we first start to be using some bombs here. You'll see the fire bombs being put to good use here. They're just an AoE attack that does a set amount of damage to everything on the screen. So Gino has boosted Bowser to increase his attack, so that also increases the amount of damage that he does with these bomb items. That's kind of a funny thing. You would think if you boosted a character's attack power, that wouldn't have anything to do with them using items. That would just boost when they do their normal attack. But that's not actually the case in this game. It boosts all damage that they deal, even if it's from throwing a bomb. So that's kind of a neat little detail. This fight is basically just specifically routed out so that we use fire bombs pretty liberally and take out all of these tentacles in one go.
That 2 damage is actually necessary because Mario's jump attack might sometimes do less than 80 here.
Yep. And then we're going to use one more bomb to finish off King Calamari before he basically gets to do anything.
Yeah, let's go.
And he gets wrecked.
Good stuff. Way to go, team.
That's some fried calamari right there.
Oh, I could go for that.
All right, so now into the second half of Sunken Ship. So the next part of the run, the next fight we're going to do a little more platforming in Sunken Ship here. We're going to be coming up to the boss of Sunken Ship, who is the pirate shark captain, Jonathan Jones. And this fight is where we're going to be using the super jump technique, which is everyone's favorite part of the run.
Save for no reason, yeah.
Yeah, you might want to save. Probably not a bad idea.
Meh.
We're going to safety save here just for that because this is important. So the way super jumps work, if you know anything about Mario RPG speedruns, you know you have to do 100 super jumps in a single fight in order to get the super suit, which is a really powerful piece of armor that is essential to the route. Oh, that fish is coming for you.
That one was trying to test my patience there.
He wanted you. Linebacker. We call that fish the linebacker because he blocks you from the bottom of those stairs there. So the way super jumps work is it allows you to utilize the timed hit mechanic to continually jump on an enemy. And you can do this up to 100 times, then the game stops you. That's the max. So when you first start doing the jumps, you are going to be hitting a button sort of as Mario lands within a certain timing window. The timing window starts really big. It starts about half a second, like 30 frames, and it gets progressively smaller for each jump you do until you get past the 13th jump. at which point it is a 3-frame window from then on until 100 jumps. So a 3-frame window is not the worst thing in the world. It's small, but it's not, a frame perfect thing. But the hard part is doing it 86 times in a row. So it requires a lot of practice and just good rhythm in order to do that. So it's going to be serious time when we do that, since Bitch does have to concentrate for that, despite the fact that she sometimes talks while doing it to people.
Yeah, doing the super jumps can be easy once you get into a rhythm and such, but on some bosses, they have inconsistent hitboxes, so it can be a lot more difficult on some bosses,
Yeah.
such as
Bosses,
Culex.
yeah. Some bosses.
Yeah, that's another thing to point out. So when you do timed hits, you can use any button on the controller. So Pidge does this interesting technique where she kind of rotates around all 4 face buttons. I don't recommend doing that if you're trying to learn this,
I
but
don't
hey,
recommend
whatever
it either.
works.
I honestly don't do it.
She just does it for swag.
All right, here we go. It's super jump time.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet? Oh, this is different than the normal any percent fight.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Ah. There you go. Very nicely done.
That was all right. Thanks, everyone.
So yeah, if you were counting, that's 100. So that's easily the most kind of nerve-wracking part of the run, especially when you're learning this game for the first time. You need a certain number of jumps to kill Johnny in one go, and it's not exactly 100, but it's almost 100. So this is the most convenient spot in the run to get that 100 in one go, because you need to get 100 in a single fight.
He has 820 health, and at any percent you do 866 because Mario's at level 9. But in this category, he's only level 7, so that's why I have to toss a Fright Bomb and a Bad Mushroom at him first. In an RTA attempt, you'd actually toss a Fright Bomb and a Fire Bomb and super jump him right away. But because this is a marathon and the Fire Bomb strat is super unsafe, I just do a Bad Mushroom instead and wait a turn.
All right, so now we got the star piece, right? That's star piece number
Sure
4.
did.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Right. That's
Or 5 rather.
That was all bad.
It's star piece number 5. Yeah. So that's all the star pieces. Where nothing is going to happen to them at all. We're going to keep the possession of those star pieces.
Oh, what do these guys want? What? What? My star piece? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. But I wonder if they have any hostages that are kind of in trouble if I don't give this to them. So.
Yeah. So turns out that the super shifty villagers and the village elder, who was not acting suspicious in the least at all, is actually one of Smithy's minions in disguise. So they're going to take the star piece from us and attempt to escape with it. And that's going to lead us to our next boss fight, Eurydivic. And this is where the ability swap glitch comes into play, because this fight is based around the fact that Eurydivic, being a giant metal spear monster, is actually weak to electric attacks. So Peach, knowing Shocker, is going to be a primary source of damage dealing during this fight, especially since she's level 11.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get the audio cues in this fight, I guess. I think I have one extra firebomb. Where's Peach?
Yeah, so the other thing about this fight, is the shocker move has a very specific audio cue for getting a properly timed hit on it. So let's see if she gets it.
Oh, that was way too early, dude. Oh, no, it wasn't. Nice.
Nope, you got it.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, so this fight is, the first turn of this fight is scripted. He always does Water Blast. And that is, since we've taken level up bonuses very specifically, that means that Gino will just barely survive that Water Blast. And since he's boosting Mario and Peach, then they'll be able to also survive it. Mario is going to use this Caro Cola. That's where this comes in handy.
I think I got it. Yeah, that felt a little better.
Yep, there you go.
210.
Yeah, the timed hit on the shocker move is that's kind of annoying.
He has exactly 85 health.
Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of
okay.
the one thing that we don't want Yuridovic to do is Willy Wisp Gino there, since that will actually kill him. Any other move on any other character? Oh, hey, Rock Candy.
This fight just got ultra free.
Yeah. Okay, so that's another thing. We haven't actually explained.
Okay, it's fine. It's still fine. Still fine.
Yeah, we haven't actually explained how freebies work yet. So whenever you use an item in this game, you have a small chance to get a freebie. And if you get a freebie, basically the item doesn't get consumed. It stays in your inventory. So what just happened was she got a freebie for this rock candy item that she's using there, which is actually really good.
That might be it.
There you go.
No, it's not. Okay, I gotta do one more attack. That's fine. I just gotta
Yeah,
toss
so
it off.
unfortunately we mistimed one of the shocker attacks. So if every attack is perfectly timed and we can throw the bombs that we need,
Oh, wow.
then you can actually kill Yuridovic right before he splits into his Mirage attack here, which is actually really cool that that's even possible in the first place. But otherwise, yeah, you just need a little bit more damage to kill him. But
Yeah, in this category, like normally it's gonna take 5 turns to kill him.
yeah, so fun question. When he splits, one of them is a clone and one of them is the real one. In that case, the real one was on top. It's random which one is the real one. However, you can always tell which one it is because when you go to attack, the cursor will be on the real one. So just don't move the cursor.
Yep. That's the secret to that fight.
Yep.
All right, one
Aimbot.
more menu.
Back.
All right, so now that we beat Yuridovic and we got the star back, we can go and rescue all the actual villagers. And the village elder here also gives us a flower box, which is great because we can sell that to buy some equipment.
I'm actually not gonna buy any equipment with it. I'm gonna keep the coins for a star. I eliminated the equipment from this menu because it's not really
Oh, you got rid of it
necessary.
entirely?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Yeah, you've been rerouting this a bit.
Just a little bit. It's still not the good route, but it's marathon safe.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, this category being so new,
That's all you do.
there's routing changes to it that are kind of still happening, even between like submitting it to this marathon and actually running it. Pidge is still kind of tweaking things here and there. Sometimes just for
Unnecessary save,
marathon
yeah.
safety strats.
I don't know why I saved there. What am I doing?
Yeah, I don't think you need to save there, but
No, I
whatever.
definitely did.
All right, so now the next part of the game, this is Land's End. So there's a hidden chest right there that we're going to grab, since that contains a red essence. And there's a hidden platform there that will help us get over here. We're going to try to jump over without hitting any of these geckos here. Very nice.
Thanks.
And then here's more of those spinning flowers back from the very beginning of the game. So again, because we want to go diagonally up, remember what I said before about how you want to land on sort of the opposite side of the flower. So she was landing on the bottom there, which put her facing up, which is going to minimize the amount of time waiting for it to rotate. So this part here, we need to find this ant that is hiding in these whirlpools and get into an encounter with the ant. We're going to use ice bombs to take out all the ants in one shot. And once the ant is dead, then you can go down the whirlpool that he was in to get to the next screen. If you go down one of the other whirlpools, they take you backwards. So we want to find the correct whirlpool, which is where the ant is popping up, in order to progress this part of Land's End here. So there's going to be 4 of these encounters, and in a normal run, you'd be hoping to freebie as many of these ice bombs as possible. With Culex, they don't really have anything to do with it. They don't really get used, so...
I'd like one freebie to use on Malone, but it's not really necessary. It just means you do
fair
like
enough.
3 extra super jumps or something.
Yeah, Fair enough. Yeah, in a normal any percent run, they're quite important to saving a lot of time in the later half of the run.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there's
I
a
can do the
freebie.
icebox
There you
strat.
go.
I only need one in this category. And it's not even really necessary. It just saves like a couple seconds. So I actually decide, I took out all the attack boosts for Geno and Bowser in this category too because I realized that Geno never actually attacks anyone, like, after Yurinovich. This part's stupid, dude.
Yeah, it's Ant's giving you the jukes.
Yeah.
Another one?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, just one freebie. That's fine. That's all we need. All right, so
Here.
now we get to go down underground here in Land's End, and this is another invincibility star. So here we're gonna get this is our second last star of the game here. We're gonna jump down here. We're trying to make it down here and kill a couple of these geckos before the star runs out.
It's
Nicely
so
done.
free in this category because there's no pauses.
Yeah, yeah. So normally what happens in the any percent category there is you have several characters leveling up at the same time. So that little level up text that you see, the colored text, that pops up when you're running through the enemies with the star. If multiple characters level up at the same time, then you actually get stuck in place. It like pauses your movement while that level up text appears. So it's really annoying because that makes it harder to get more enemies, like to get further in to get more of those enemies with the star. So fortunately, there's a second star there that's hidden behind the boxes there where the shaman character is. And now in Belome Temple, we're going to talk to this guy in order to get further into the temple. So he tells you that you want to hit these 3 cat Belome heads in order to get your fortune, and the correct order to progress to Belome is just left, middle, right, so you don't even have to think about it. Hey, mushroom, nice. Shoutouts to not getting a Yoshi cookie in that chest.
Oh, yeah.
I hate when I get a Yoshi cookie.
I hate when I don't get the right fortune. Oh, are you kidding
Yo,
me?
first try
try
scroll,
fortune.
Nice.
That's-
So what happens
That's
here
the second
is,
time that's ever happened to me in the year and a half of running this game.
yeah, what happens there is that when you hit the head and get a scroll out of it, it's a 50-50 chance that you'll get 2 different messages. One of them is that Belome is busy and sleeping and doesn't want to be disturbed, and that will take you to Belome's little stash area, which you can't get in yet. And the other one is saying that he's hungry and he wants you to come down and visit him. So that takes you to the actual boss fight. And there's going to be more super jumps here as well.
I think that's enough. Yeah, it's enough.
Nice. Very nicely done.
Thanks.
All right, so that time we
Good
didn't
fight.
do 100 that time. We only did, how many did you do? Like what?
I think I did 61 or
61?
62.
Okay. Yeah, so the exact number of, from this point on, like there, especially in the any percent route, but in this one as well, there's a couple fights where you use super jumps on several boss fights, but you don't do 100 because you don't necessarily need to, but the number that you do is based on the amount of damage that you would do to the boss, in the first round or two before you actually do the super jumps. In some cases, it's fixed, but in the case of that Belome fight, we have a variable amount of a small range of damage that Geno can do. So that dictates exactly how many we have to do. So time to save because it's time to fight Culex.
Oh yeah, let's go. So I just equipped the super suit and the attack scarf, which are the prizes you get for doing 100 super jumps. Well, you get attack scarf from 30 and super suit from 100. 30 is an accessory that only Mario can wear that boosts every stat by 30, I believe, and super suit is an armor that anyone can wear that boosts every stat by 50. And in fact, he is so fast right now from both those speed boosts, I'm actually going to get a turn for Culex before he spawns his crystals, which is kind of ridiculous. All right, serious time, let's go. was all right. He's got about 4,000 health.
All right, yeah, so we want to try to do as many super jumps on Culex as possible in all the rounds here. He summons these crystals. The crystals do mostly elemental attacks, but the way that we've equipped the characters is that they're basically immune to those elemental attacks, which is really nice. So Mario's also going to get a red essence here to help with the super jumps. And we're going to try to hopefully get some more super jumps after the crystals do their thing. So the reason super jumping on Culex is so difficult is because he's a floating enemy. You see him moving up and down. So if you notice when you're watching Mario land on him, you'll notice that where Mario is landing is actually shifting as well. The hitbox for the visual cue for the super jumps is moving. And the timing window is still the same, but the visual cue shifting just messes with you. So
Oh, what the crap? That was bad. It's alright, though. Nobody dies here. What? Oh, are you kidding me? I almost had a free honey maple syrup. Oh, well.
yeah, that's unfortunate. That's probably one of the few things that he could do that would kill people outright.
Yeah, this is one of the harder boss fights of the games. Like, it's actually possible that you have to reset and do this fight over, but that's why I submitted a 2-hour estimate.
Yep, that's what the estimate's for. Well, we are actually on pretty good pace, so we've got time.
Yeah,
No problem there. Yeah, so remember how I just explained that super jumping on a floating enemy is hard. This is why.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm dropping so early.
All right, so what Culex is doing here is every 3 turns, Culex does an attack called Shredder, which is, you see the pillar of light coming up below the characters. What that does is it removes any buffs that you've put on, like the Geno boost that's boosting Mario's attack and defense there. So now he doesn't have that anymore.
All right.
Fortunately, he's still immune to these guys, but the super jump timing window with the floating enemy is the same, but what we've discovered recently is that it can actually be affected sometimes by the bobbing.
That was a little better.
Yeah, fortunately in this fight, Mario's like basically invulnerable. So, well, mostly.
Since this super jumps are not going so great, I'm gonna take a bit of a gamble here. And if I die, I'll just reset and try again, I think.
We might die, but hopefully not.
I'm gonna toss down a maple syrup before I put up another red essence. And I'm gonna see if that works. Oh, no, that's not, yeah, that's what I want. So if Mario dies here, then I'll just reset. Nice!
Good stuff.
Now I just gotta hope that Earth Crystal doesn't kill me.
Yeah, you should be fine now, yeah. So, like,
oh, that's bad.
Uh-oh.
That's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, he's fine. As long as I don't get, like, something really strong, I guess, from Earth Crystal.
Yeah, most of the attacks that the crystals and Culex do are elemental based, so ooh, that's physical.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, nice.
That's actually good. Okay, so the gamble paid off, and I got 4 more turns of super jump.
All right.
Right before the shredder, let's go.
Yeah, so the shredder does not remove the red essence, actually. Funny thing. So the red essence makes you immune to all attacks. So it basically makes you immune to the shredder.
I think I should be okay.
He's pretty close to being dead now, but yeah. So fun fact, we've discovered recently that the timing window is the same with a floating enemy, but what we discovered recently is that actually, depending on the oscillation of the enemy, sometimes that 3-frame window for super jumps becomes a 2-frame window instead, and based on the oscillation of the enemy. So it's basically RNG when you're jumping on them. So it's not just the visual cue messing with you; it is actually harder.
What the? I don't understand why I'm dropping so early. I might have to reset this fight because it's like not going very well. But it's all right. Got lots of time left. Huh? No. I got 2 more rounds of FP, but like I haven't done that much damage to him.
I think that you'll have enough FP for it. I think he's probably around 1,000 health.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. We'll see. All right. I'm gonna focus here. Nice miss. That was a little better, yeah.
That was pretty good.
I think he's got a little less health than I thought he did. So we'll see if I kill him in this next turn, then I'll be fine. If not, then I'm probably dead. But we'll see what happens.
Nice. There you go.
And that is time. Woo! So I just want to let you know something. Before that run, my PB was 147.
Yep, that's a PB.
This will be
Live
my
PB.
AGDQ submission video. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sick. I'll retime it later.
Yeah, we can retime
Cool. Yeah, that was a fun run.
Nice. Yeah,
Thanks
that
for
was
watching,
great.
everyone.